Hello everyone, Brian Kibler here with another video in my constructed video series for StarCityGames.com. And as you can see, we're going to be playing some more Temur today. I've been pretty excited to see how well Temur has been placing in a lot of recent events. The past couple Grand Prix in the standard format have had Temur in the top 8 of all of them. It's actually 3 Temur decks in the top 8 of Grand Prix Santiago, which is pretty exciting to see. So I'm looking to play a little bit more standard coming up soon. I'll probably be playing in Grand Prix San Antonio. And for any of you who are out there playing any of the standard opens or anything like that, F&M, I think that this is a lot of fun to play this deck, and it's certainly a deck that I want to keep playing because it's exactly my style. So this is the same core main deck that I've been playing recently. 23 land, 7 mana creatures. I've been debating whether I want 23 land, maybe the 24th land. Sometimes, do have a little bit of mana trouble, but that's going to be the case in any sort of 3-color deck, especially one that wants to get on the board early. In particular, I haven't been super happy with Mana Confluence with the rise of some of the more aggressive decks recently, but I haven't quite been able to find a mana base that I like better than this one. So we're going to potentially explore some more in the future, but for now we're going to be playing with the one that I know at least works, if painfully. And then, the core of the deck still just aggressive, efficient creatures. Heir of the Wilds, great attacker through basically anything. Savage Knuckleblade, really the reason to play the deck. Just an incredibly powerful creature. That can, just break through pretty much anything that your opponent can try and block him with. Boon Satyr is a card that I've had a little bit of off and on feelings for. Me and Boon Satyr, we have a very deep romantic love, but Boon Satyr really is a card that it does a lot of work in this deck. It's a little vulnerable against more aggressive decks. It's not as great as it really could be as maybe some other cards against like mono red or even Jeskai. Boon Satyr is not your best card because dying to Magma Jet is kind of unfortunate. I've tried a number of the other things in that slot before, like Fanatic of Xenagos. I had Goblin Rabblemaster for a bit, but all of them are just not quite as powerful overall. Being guaranteed to have ferocity, whatever it is, ferocious, when Boon Satyr is in play is pretty valuable. You do get ferocious. You trigger ferocious. I'm saying you get ferocious. No, you get ferocity, whatever. You trigger your Creator's Clause, really what it comes down to, or Stubborn Denial, with Boon Satyr guaranteed, and that's a pretty big deal. Plus, being an instant is nice when you do have counter magic in your deck. Temur Charm, I cut down to 2 copies of Temur Charm because it's a card that you don't really want to draw multiples of in any given game. It's nice to draw 1, and a lot of matchups you do end up just sideboarding it out. But against decks like Abzan or Devotion, Temur Charm's a card you're really happy to have in your deck because pretty much every mode of it is valuable. The counter mode is the one that comes up the most, but you certainly can use it to fight creatures. Great with Polukranos in particular. I've used Ashcloud Phoenix to fight with Temur Charm to kill an opposing Polukranos. Still just flip my Ashcloud Phoenix face down. So lots of stuff you can do with it. Speaking of, Phoenix is just fantastic. I think that's one of the biggest changes in this deck, where its power level went up dramatically, was when I cut the Stormbreath Dragons from one of my very early versions and played Ashcloud Phoenix. I've just been super happy with it and have gone up to the full 4 because it's a very, very powerful card. Polukranos, again, is just an awesome creature, one of your all-stars in a lot of matchups, and certainly what you want to be ramping to against other creature decks. And then Sarkhan is a card that I'm not 100% sold on. It's just very flexible. It can be either a threat or a removal spell depending on what you play against. And that's just a really, really valuable thing to have in the card. It does cost 5 mana, which you don't necessarily want to have that many spells that are too expensive in an aggressive deck, because you just want to be able to come out of the gates quickly. That's why 4 copies of Heir of the Wilds. Even if I don't get my mana creatures, I can come out and get my beat down on quickly. So. Sideboard wise, the sideboards where Stubborn Denial hiding from the other Stubborn Denials. Sideboards where I made a couple changes. I've been trying some other stuff out. Like I said, I wasn't super excited by the Stormbreath Dragons that I was playing before. There's been a lot of Constellation decks that have been doing well. Just did video with that strategy recently, and I decided I wanted to try out Reclamation Sage as a sideboard option against them. It's also potentially reasonable against some other decks that have even just not necessarily a huge amount of artifacts and enchantments in them. It's like a reasonable threat that you can bring in, say, against like Blue-Black Control to kill Perilous Vault, or you can bring in against some decks that just maybe have like I don't know, Whip of Erebos is a card that's pretty powerful against you, and Reclamation Sage is great against that. So yeah. Anyway, I definitely feel like this is a strong deck overall, and want to take it through paces another time and see how it runs. So let's go play some Magic.